employers are thinking about what kind of things should we do for employees. If you think about the things that are offered to an employee now, right? There's wellness programs, you know, there's even pet insurance is offered by employers through
Hmm.
people to get pet insurance. We consider travel, leisure travel, as a benefit, right? So just like you think about having healthcare, having your pet insurance, having those wellness programs, I would put employees taking travel and having a vacation benefit as a wellness program, as a mental health wellness, right? Being able to take a break for a week and have this thing, you know, go to Hawaii for a week and you're getting it at a discount, or your employer has offered you a reward, right? That, hey, here's $250 off. Go spend it and go take a trip, right? You will get, that mental health benefit is huge. And so that's why we're rolling this out to employers. And the benefit they get from it is, people are a little bit more motivated to work at places where they get rich and exciting things. And it's a differentiator for an employer for sure.
Welcome to Travel Buddy, presented by Switchfly. In this podcast, we talk about all things travel, rewards, and loyalty. Let's get to it. Welcome to the show, Nowell. We have you as a guest. I am so excited to talk to you today because you are the CEO of Switchfly. So you've got all kinds of knowledge about travel, about Switchfly, about why any of this matters. And so I think that's actually a really good place to start.
Okay.
When we're talking about travel, why is that so important for employees, employers? What is this landscape that you're in the middle of? There's rewards, there's recognition, there's just all kinds of dynamics that are at play for the way organizations are hiring,
Sure.
retaining, getting engagement with their employees, and travel is a really great antidote to that. So tell me a little bit about that.
So Switchfly has been in this industry for 20 years, right? And I actually was not in the travel industry. So I came from venture capital backed, Silicon Valley, machine learning before machine learning was super popular like it is now. And, when you're in Silicon Valley and you have people who are PhDs working for you, and you have companies like Google who are literally trying to recruit from your company because they want your talent, you have to do things that are different, right? And I think a lot of employers are looking for things that are different. And the interesting thing about even the employee base that I had then, a lot of people travel, right? They go to really cool places and they do really interesting things. And so, in this journey and evolution and kind of Switchfly as a company, we've looked at employees and we've done a couple of things. One of the things is we did a survey, right? And we surveyed about 2,500 people, and travel actually came out at almost number one of a benefit. So if you're an employer and you're trying to recruit people, right? Everyone predominantly has health insurance, dental, vision, life, all that kind of stuff. And so it becomes, how are you differentiating yourself to an employee? Like, what makes you, Mr. Employer, fun and different? And like, yeah, you know what? I'm really wanting to go to work there. Now, not all jobs are that way, but employees and employers have this relationship over time. And working in a place that's fun, I think, is important, right? For recruiting people, millennials, people out of college, right? All those kind of younger generation people, we know travel is a big part of their life, right? You can see it in any kind of industry report that you have. And you can see that it's like number one, I want to travel, I want to visit places, I want to see the world. Have an employer that has a program to match those desires is a good thing that we've found.
Now, it seems like from what I've understood from the team is this sounds really nice, add travel. But
Hmm.
from what I'm gathering, it is really difficult to pull that off. It is super complex. There's a lot of technology, there's a lot of vendors, there's a lot of suppliers, there's the inventory. You guys have hotels, car,
Sure.
planes, all of that. But you guys have created this kind of dynamic packaging, and you've created some other tools that kind of put all this together into one package, including a call center, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct. Correct. So
Yeah, so
really,
tell me a little bit about the landscape there.
yeah. So Switchfly, my CFO, we always talk about the competition and the market and the things, and you're not just going to go out, be a startup, and become a travel company, right?
Mm.
there is a huge moat to cross when you consider all the things that have to be done, right? The interesting thing about that is if you call up to be a merchant of record to process a credit card, and you call up the big processors, right? Hey, I want to process a credit card. It's great until they say the checkbox that says what industry you're in, and you check travel, and then all of
Mm-hmm.
a sudden they're like, um, let me call you back, right? And so then you call your next merchant processor and say, hey, I'm going to process travel. Let me call you back, right? We went through numerous merchant processors, right? And we're a 20-year-old company, right? That does travel for a living, that processes cards for American Express. And we struggled to find a merchant processor that would accept us to process travel credit card transactions. It's in the same category. I think it's easier if you're a drug dealer selling drugs and swiping credit cards than actually get travel, right? And so
Okay.
the interesting thing is like there's this whole, I mean, Switchfly is a, travel e-commerce and basically platform for people. Not only is it the tech, but it's also the people. So we have a call center, they answer questions. If you get stuck somewhere, we can reroute flights or adjust your flights. We book you in new hotel rooms. We do all of that for people. Um, and the interesting thing is that, you know, an employer specifically, when you start talking to them about things, they don't want to take on a big IT project. IT
Mm.
resources are rare. Walking in and saying, let's take on this 3-month project or 6-month project. They just don't want to do that. So, we built something that basically think and act like a startup, think and act like a SaaS company. Basically, less than a day, if you go and register, we can turn you on almost instantly, and employees can start registering and using the system. There is no back end configuration, back end integration, things that you have to do in a typical IT implementation to use Switchfly.
Mm. Amazing. And, like they say, like simplicity to be elegant is extremely difficult.
Sure.
And you guys have tried to make it as simple a process as anybody out there. And from what I gather, you're making it even a step easier with a new product that you guys are launching called
Correct.
Go. And this is to shift the dynamics a little bit, even toward signing up teams immediately, more of a direct to employer
Mhm.
offering, if I'm understanding you. So can you
For
tell
sure.
me a little bit about that? What you guys are walking through?
Sure. So, this actually I'll attribute this to a large part to my wife, right? But
Okay.
it's you know, I want to bring leisure travel, not, there's the whole business side and, your credit card, you have to travel for work, right? And Go is designed specifically for employers to offer basically travel as a perk or travel as a benefit, right? We offer kind of member only rates through this program. And so you will have discounts lower than you'll see at the retail sites, right? So everyone does this cost comparison. Our rates basically are discounted, right? But we use, the same, like we have over 1 million hotels, we have car rentals, we have air, we have activities, right, through Viator and people like that. But it's done at a discount through your employer. So the idea is, employers can sign up for free. There's no cost, right, for people to do this, and employees can register and use the site for free. And effectively, it's white labeled and it's in a closed network, so a membership kind of program. And that way, they have access to these member only rates, right, to be able to book and reward their employees with travel. The interesting thing is it's not just the platform, it's also the service and support that comes with it, right? So, you're not just buying a piece of software. If that employee is on a trip and has a problem with a hotel, they have a dedicated call center that they can call, right? So
Mhm.
think of, offering to your employees like an American Express concierge kind of travel service as a leisure travel benefit. That's really what Go is about.
I want to emphasize that point. I think because you can easily overlook that, like, oh, there's this, call center or concierge that you can reach
Hmm.
out to. But when you're overseas and you run into a problem,
Yeah,
that it becomes a lifeline. I'm an American
correct.
Express Platinum card holder,
Yep, me
and
too.
I was in London a few weeks ago. My daughter got sick in the middle
Mm,
of the night. It's like 2:30 in the morning.
yep,
Thankfully, we were able to connect with our doctor, but my next call was gonna be to American Express to
for
just
sure.
like, "Hey, what do I do? I don't know what
Yeah,
it's 2:30 in the morning. I can't go anywhere. Do I call NHS? How do I do this?"
yeah,
They were gonna be my next call, and I think that's
yeah.
really, really key.
Yeah. And it's, customer service and travel is, you have to pay attention to it. There's
Yeah.
lots of people that the customer service aspect is an afterthought, right? Oh, they're really focused on being a tech company and not kind of a travel e-commerce vendor. And we really
Yeah.
pay attention to the customer service side of it, to measure our satisfaction scores and make sure that, to the employee, they're having the best experience that they can have. I've traveled the world. I've driven my car through South America. I've been to Africa, I've been to Europe, taken kids, been sick, had to find the doctor, shown up and not had a hotel like available, done all of those bad things. And for me, it's trying to help people avoid all of that stuff because it's
Yeah.
when travel goes bad and some like, having a family member sick or whatever, it becomes really hard really fast to understand what to
Hmm.
do, right? And especially if you have to get out, right? And that's the other thing is, you know, if things go bad and I have to get out of here, how do I do that as quickly as possible? And sometimes like when you just call, the airline or you just call the hotel or you just call whatever, it's really hard for that person to have a picture of what is happening to you. And a lot of times they may not care, right? And in our case, our job is really as a travel agent to help you, get back to your destination, to make sure that the hotel does what they do or take care of the air carrier for you.
Yeah, amazing. I like what you said. It gets bad really fast. I think
It does.
that's really, really
It
important.
does. And then it's,
Yeah.
my wife last year, she and I were hiking the Camino de Santiago in Spain and
Mm,
Portugal, and she got very sick at the end. And let me tell you,
mm,
like having to take a bus when you're not feeling well, and then having to catch a 3 a.m. flight when you're really not feeling well. When we got home on Sunday, I had to take her to urgent care. They put 3 liters of fluid into her because she was
uh,
so dehydrated, right? So like been there, done that. There's a lot of things to pay attention to.
yeah, definitely. Okay, I want to challenge you here with the
Okay.
few minutes that we have left as we
Sure.
close. There's two things I want to make sure that that you could maybe briefly just simplify for me.
Okay.
One is, how does Go use machine learning to create the kind of package that you get these deals or the offerings that that somebody would be presented with. And then the
Yeah.
second thing is, maybe you can segue into, is what is some of the business benefits for an employer to sign up for this, that may not be so obvious, that maybe the
Sure.
mechanics of like gift card industry or other kind of
Yeah.
ways to
Yeah.
do rewards that are not as clear.
Yeah. So first thing, machine learning, uh, we do machine learning naturally. I actually think that the first person, when I came here as a CEO, the first job requisition that we opened was a head of data science, right? Because I've come from that world and I understand what it can do, right? And one of the things we built is what we call it C360. So as a user uses the platform, right, we learn about what they like, right? So if you don't like to take 7 a.m. flights like my CFO does, and you're the 10 a.m. flight person or you're the afternoon flight person, it actually starts to learn what you like and make recommendations on things. Same
Cool.
thing with hotels, right? If you're looking for hotels and you happen to be looking at hotels with swimming pools, we might make recommendations for more hotels with swimming pools, right? It's not necessarily, you think about a lot of hotel search and things are like, click the checkbox, and we have those things. But behind the scenes, there's a lot of machine learning that's learning what you like. It might make recommendations that are better than you're even thinking about. The analogy that I use for people is one of Netflix, because everybody, quite frankly, uses Netflix. If you're an action adventure person and you just got done watching your latest action adventure movie, Netflix is not going to give you a rom com, right? They're going to
Mhm.
give you an action adventure movie as your next feed. Hotels are the same way, right? Or flights or things. If you're a nonstop flight person and a 5-star hotel person, it doesn't make any sense for us to give you a 2-stop flight with a 3-star hotel, right? And so
Mhm.
there's a lot of things that we do behind the scenes to actually suggest that for people, and it's tailored to them without, breaking any of the data privacy things and all that other stuff. So,
Yeah, amazing, amazing,
yeah,
very cool.
yeah.
Okay.
So, and then the next question was about an employer, right? So, one, you know, employers are thinking about what kind of things should we do for employees. If you think about the things that are offered to an employee now, right? There's wellness programs, you know, there's even pet insurance is offered by employers through people to get pet insurance. We consider travel, leisure travel, as a benefit, right? So just like you think about having healthcare, having your pet insurance, having those wellness programs, I would put employees taking travel and having a vacation benefit as a wellness program, as a mental health wellness, right? Being able to take a break for a week and have this thing, you know, go to Hawaii for a week and you're getting it at a discount, or your employer has offered you a reward, right? That, hey, here's $250 off. Go spend it and go take a trip, right? You will get, that mental health benefit is huge. And so that's why we're rolling this out to employers. And the benefit they get from it is, people are a little bit more motivated to work at places where they get rich and exciting things. And it's a differentiator for an employer for sure.
Amazing. Amazing. Nowell, thank you for this episode. So glad you were a guest, and
All right.
I'm excited to keep this rolling.
Okay.
See you next
Thanks.
time.
All right. Cheers.